All right, let's get this started, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy week one of the NFL season. This is JoeyBets here. Right behind you, I have the JB big board. This big board basically tells you who's going to hit, right? I've got money line picks, I've got player props up there, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I know a lot of these shows, they talk about this and they talk about that, right? I'm going to go straight into football, and this is what it's going to be. Week one of the season, a lot of great games coming up, a lot of prime time games out there, starting off with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly just won the Super Bowl, right? Congratulations. It's such an amazing, amazing feat, right? And especially how they did it. Big Kansas City fan myself. We got our asses kicked. We got our asses kicked. We got our asses handled. And that's just how it is, right? You take some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. And that's what we're going into this season. Now, enough about the Eagles, right? We've got the game going on tonight between the Eagles and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have ramped up on their offensive weapons. They've got George Pickens, who's a big piece. He's a big piece coming out of Pittsburgh, expecting Dak Prescott to be a better quarterback this year, take care of the football a lot more. And it's going to be a tough task against the Philadelphia Eagles, even though their defense has been here and there. They've made a lot of offseason additions over the offseason. So Philadelphia, I still think, has a very great secondary. I really don't think passing the ball is going to be very healthy for Dak Prescott. So a lot of run happy, right? I'm going Philadelphia money line on this one specifically. I just think they own the Cowboys, just considering the record. And I just wouldn't want to bet the Cowboys as my first bet of the first day on the first game of the NFL season, right? And I even know Cowboy fans understand me right there with the big trade of Micah Parsons. It's going to be pretty tough. So I really think the middle of that defense for the Cowboys is going to be depleted, right? Philadelphia is going to take over. They're going to take control. I really see a lot of slot man play, not too many deep balls, because you do have a very good secondary with Deron Bland and the Dallas Cowboys secondary. So I really see Devontae Smith having a huge game right here on the player props. We have him under, let's see, where's Devontae Smith? We have him at 5 receptions, right? Honestly, receptions, targets, receiving yards, those are going to be really big for Devontae Smith. It's going to be a big Devontae Smith game, and I really feel like it's going to be a big Devontae Smith season this season. Going into it, I understand that he is the second wide receiver for Philadelphia. You got A.J. Brown over there, but the way A.J. Brown runs his routes, I don't see it being too healthy against the Cowboys. I see Devontae Smith really making a difference here, maybe even a touchdown there, right? I have him on my player props over. We have him over 5 receptions. We can also take him on yards as well. That's what we're going to run with today. That's today's. I also really like the fact that Dallas is an 8.5 point, or Philadelphia is an 8.5 point favorite. I really don't see division games, being played out like that, really. I can see the division games being more of a close matchup, right? 8.5 points is a lot. 9 points, that's a 2-possession game. I really feel like the Dallas Cowboys can cover it, but me personally, I'm taking money line. I'm taking money line all day. So we're gonna mark that down. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Cowboys money line here, right? That's what we're gonna run with. That's what we're rolling with here, all right? And now into the second pick. Very big game. Honestly, very big game to me. This is it means a lot. Chargers fans out there understand that they're going after the division, right? With the Broncos doing what they did last year, there's no real room for digression, right? For the Chargers. I really feel like they're ready. The defense is very great. Kansas City did not have a very good preseason. Unless you really look at the first drive that we had against the Bears where all of our starters were in, it really looked locked up, right? Rashee Rice serving the suspension is going to hurt, especially in this game, right? The chemistry between Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice is enormous, right? So I really feel like Patty's going to have a big game. Me personally, this is a very big personal decision. I will never go against my team, right? So if you really feel like the Chargers being a 3.5 favorite, 3.5 underdog, I can see it happening. I mean, I'm a realist as well, other than a football fan. But first, I'm a football fan, and I'm a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I'm going Kansas City money line. I'm not taking them to cover no spread. 3.5 spread is really, really big. I can see Butker hitting a game-winning field goal at the end of it. I'd say somewhere around 24-21 Kansas City, right? Chargers do cover that spread if they do hit. So plus 3.5 for the Chargers could be it. That could be the play. We could be making that today. But me personally, as a Kansas City fan, live by it. I die by it. I'll take the money line at minus 170, especially with Patty Mahomes. I feel like with the taste in his mouth right now, he's going to have a very good season, especially like a Super Bowl season, right? A Super Bowl season, MVP season. I can see it happening for Patrick Mahomes. Player props for this game in specific. I've got Patty Mahomes on an 18.5 fantasy score. I have him on a touchdown. Me personally, I have him with a whole bunch of rushing yards. It's going to be a big Isaiah Pacheco game. Pacheco's lines, let's see. Pacheco's lines are pretty high right now. I wouldn't want to mess with Pacheco lines because of the fact that the books really have it down. Let's see. Pacheco line is at 49.5, right? So we're going to go 49.5 with the Pacheco line. I like it, honestly. I don't hate it. But the fact is that it's going to be a very big pass happy game. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure this is going correctly. All right, so 1 sec. Let me. Okay. Oh, we're having some technical difficulties here. We're going to go ahead take this bad boy out of the picture. Okay. Let's see. All right. So, looking at it, going back into it, right? We've got Isaiah Pacheco. And Isaiah Pacheco is going to, I really feel like he's going to hit. I really feel like he's going to hit that 49.5. I can see it happening very big on Isaiah Pacheco this year, coming back from an injury. So I can see that being a very big play for today. Isaiah Pacheco on that. Going into it, we're going to go into the game cast for... All right, let me see. 1 second. Yeah, my apologies, guys. I'm having some difficulties here with getting this all up and running. Let's see. Trying to get everything visual for you guys on this side. But overall, we're going to go right into it. We're going to continue this. Going into it, like I said, I really like Ladd McConkey. I really like Patty Mahomes on the fantasy score. I love Isaiah Pacheco on rushing yards. This is going to be a big game tomorrow, right? So we've got Patrick Mahomes, 18.5 fantasy score. I've also got Omarion Hampton, right? Omarion Hampton, 48.5 rushing yards with Najee Harris. With Najee Harris healthy, I can really see Omarion Hampton not hitting this line. So under on Hampton, that's what I have on my big board. And then we're going to go into Sunday's matchups, right? Sunday's matchups, going into it, we've already got Thursday on lock. We've got the Philadelphia money line, and then we've also got... So we've got the Philadelphia money line, and then we've also got... the Chargers covering the spread. I can see the Chargers covering the spread at plus 3.5. Another one that we're looking at is Arizona, New Orleans. With that one, I'm looking at Arizona coming away with the money line right here. I can really see that Arizona is going to be a very good team this year, a lot better than what they were last year. New Orleans has problems, issues right now. That minus 6.5 spread looks very good, right? But remember what Arizona was last year. Arizona is not the team to beat other teams by 7 points, right? That is not a spread team. You do not want to take the spread on Arizona. If anything, take the under. Take the money line for Arizona on that one, right? So we're taking Philadelphia money line. We're taking the Chargers with the spread at 3.5, and then we're gonna take Arizona with the money line. So that's what we're gonna do. Um, that's what we're gonna do there, and then we're gonna go into Miami, Indianapolis, right? Miami, Indianapolis. One of the things I really like about this game is that Miami's an underdog, but you really got to watch out, right? Daniel Jones coming into it, they really felt like they see something over Anthony Richardson in Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has a lot of new weapons to play with rather than what he had in New York. And understandably so, he had some really good weapons in New York too, right? But you've got Jalen Warren, you've got Jonathan Taylor, you've got Michael Pittman, you've got real weapons here that made Joe Flacco look amazing, right? So, Daniel Jones is he's a very good quarterback. I don't see Miami having the defense to get a pick or off of him. I really feel like Miami is in the struggle themselves. They're very close to firing their head coach. I can see them giving away Tyreek, hopefully to the Chiefs over the trade deadline. But I can see Miami just shooting the gun here, biting the bullet. I have them as, let's see, who do we have? We have the under 46.5. That's what we have. Miami money line under 46.5. Those are really good picks. I can see Daniel Jones having a very good game. I don't see Miami blowing them out, but I can see Miami pulling away with a win here, saving their coach, all that good stuff, right? So watch out for Indy at home. I wouldn't necessarily be running to the book to bet this game, but overall, I can see Miami winning this game. All right, going into it. This is one of my favorite games on the slip this year, this week one. Because of the fact that the Patriots are very good looking, coming out of the gates. They look very good with Drake May. You've got Travion Henderson. You've got Stephon Diggs. You've got that secondary just blowing everybody up. Honestly, I can see New England going over a spread of at least 4.5, 5.5, 6 points, right? Geno's going to throw a pick. I can guarantee that. That's my favorite pick this week is the Geno Smith interception. The Geno Smith interception is going to happen. It's going to be very pass happy. You're going to have Jacoby Myers, who's not in the best attitude right now because of the fact that they denied his trade request. You've got, I'm not too sure what kind of receivers the Raiders have, to be honest with you. You got Brock Bowers out there as well. It's looking bad for the Raiders, honestly, if Geno Smith can't really do this himself, right? Ashton Genty, I love him. I really like him as a running back coming out of Boise State. But that New England defense is different, especially with a defensive head coach. Being led by a defensive head coach, I feel like makes your defense just that much better, right? So, New England with the pick. I have New England winning. I have Travion Henderson with a touchdown. New England by 3.5 on an alternate spread. Go ahead and take some plus money on that. Feed New England, right? New England's going to beat the living crap out of the Raiders. And I say this not as a Kansas City fan, but I say this as a football fan here. New England is going to have their way with the Raiders. Drake May is going to have a great day. Mike Vrabel is going to look like an amazing head coach, coach of the year. Travion Henderson, Ohio State University. He's going to come out. He's going to play. So I've got New England taking care of the Raiders. Another pick that you guys can take. You've got the Travion Henderson touchdown. That's a really good one. And then the Geno Smith interception. That's a two leg on just this game, right? So Geno Smith on the INT, and then Travion with the rushing yards with the touchdown as well. I can see it laddering up to 2 touchdowns. The Raiders defense on rushing is not very good, right? Okay. So we're about 3 games into the Sunday slate. We're going to go into Pittsburgh, New York. Now, big game. Aaron Rodgers going back to New York. Aaron Rodgers has a very good position with Pittsburgh. I mean, every sign pointed for him to go to Pittsburgh even before he went to New York, right? I really felt like he was going to end up a Steeler before he was a Jet. But with the Jets, I really love Justin Fields. I love the chemistry between Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson. When you have a quarterback and a wide receiver at that talent level together, you look at Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I mean, we're not going to sit here and compare, but that chemistry is there, right? So the chemistry between Fields and Wilson will be a lot better. I expect Wilson to be a better receiver. I also expect Justin Fields to be a better quarterback, especially looking like the quarterback he was in Chicago, right? Where he ran the ball a lot more. New York hasn't really had that in the last few years with Aaron Rodgers, right? But a mobile quarterback, and that's what we want here. I can really see the Jets really sweeping out a lot of mobility with the quarterback, a lot of quarterback rushes. I have Justin Fields at 29 and a half rush yards. That's 30 rush yards. It's a goblin on most betting sites, but I'm taking Justin Fields on the rush yards. I'm also taking, who else was it? Oh yeah, it was Justin Fields. It's Justin Fields overall, right? We can even see him on a touchdown, maybe even a Braylon Allen touchdown. Breece Hall rush yards. Those are going to be not as cute. Pittsburgh Steelers really handle the rush well. You got TJ Watt. You got that front line. The Steelers defense is nothing to play with, especially running the ball. But the Jets defense, on the other hand, they cannot stop the run. Honestly, last year going into it, we were about 7, 8, 9 weeks in, and they allowed over 100 yards rushing to most of those teams, right? So I could see Jaylen Warren having a big day today. Honestly, looking at the books, I don't want to put all my money on Jaylen Warren. I really don't feel like that's the play here because of the amount of plays that we have out there. Really, Jaylen Warren would be one of those picks where it's like, okay, you really want to bet on that game itself, right? Jaylen Warren's rushing yards is at 54 and a half, which isn't bad for the starting running back for Pittsburgh. They just gave him an extension, 20 receiving yards under 3 receptions. His longest rush is at 13 and a half. I'd take it. I mean, if your longest rush is going to be at 14 yards, if you're going to run a 14-yard play, then I could see you eating a lot more. The other one that you want to take is probably 40 rushing yards on the Goblin on that one, right? All right. So let's go into it. We're going to stick in. We're going to go into New York and Washington. New York and Washington, we have Washington's the favorites by 6.5 points. 45.5 on the over-under, and then you have a minus 260 on the money line. I'm taking Washington money line every day, all day. The Giants aren't in any, they're not in any position to be beating a division contender right now. They're going to get their wins, right? But just overall, not against the division opponent, not against the division contender, not against me personally, what I think is the division winner, right? Dan Quinn's going to take care of business. Washington on the money line at minus 260 is really great. I really like that. So take Washington the money line. Going into it, another one of my favorite games out there, it's going to be Carolina and Jacksonville. Carolina and Jacksonville overall. Carolina and Jacksonville, we like Carolina here with the upset. And Carolina's 3.5 point underdogs here, and the way Bryce really looked at the end of the year last year, I really like it. I can see them doing an amazing job overall. With Jacksonville being where they were against the rush and against the pass last year. Bryce Young, right? Bryce Young is going to have a great day, but my biggest thing and my favorite play today, outside of the Geno Smith interception, outside of the Justin Fields rushing yards, my favorite play of this week is the Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is going to have an amazing game. He's going to have a huge game against Jacksonville. Jacksonville last year in rush defense, they were ranked, all right, as far as yards are concerned, we're looking at Jacksonville giving up, what was it, fourth most, 1, 2, 3, 4, sixth most rushing yards in the NFL. Their pass defense is just as bad. They're giving up third most yards per attempt, tied for first. Yards per attempt at 7.9 on the pass. Honestly, I can see Carolina just eating them up. T2 McMillan, I can see him having a big game on receptions. I can see Bryce Young having a big game, a couple touchdowns. I can see Chuba Hubbard running the crap out of the ball at the end of the game. I would take Carolina with the money line here. That's plus money, so go ahead and take that. take it and run with it, honestly. And then going into it, Cleveland and Cincinnati. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cincinnati's going to win this game. They're more than likely going to cover the 5.5 spread. They're going to beat the crap out of Cleveland. But overall, I really like Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson for Cleveland because of the fact that Cincinnati didn't have much rush defense last year. I really like Dylan Sampson. They don't really have anything on Dylan Sampson. All right, so they have Dylan Sampson touchdown, right? So once Sunday hits, you're probably going to see him on yards. Go ahead and take him for the yards. Cincinnati doesn't have a very good rush defense. So I can see Dylan Sampson maybe breaking out a couple longest rush as well. Let's run that. But that'll be when Sunday comes up because of the fact that right now they only have him for the touchdown. Cincinnati, I have them covering at 5.5. That's a pretty easy spread. I see Cincinnati winning by a couple possessions, right? Going into it, last 10 o'clock game on Sunday's slate, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Huge game, big divisional game. I really like it. This is probably going to be one of the games that I'm watching. Overall, not one of the games that I'm betting, but what I'm watching for sure. I've got Tampa Bay winning this game. I've got Tampa Bay winning the division overall. I really like the way the Bucs are coming in. I really like Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, and then you've got Chris Godwin coming in later in the year. Bucky Irvin playing the way he is. I really haven't been sold on Michael Penix. Bijan is Bijan. He's going to have a great game. You've got Drake London out there. Kyle Pitts is a question mark. So very matched up teams. Very good game this week. Probably going to be the game of the week outside of Baltimore and Buffalo. But I've got Tampa Bay. I've got Tampa Bay on the money line. Stay away from spreads. Stay away from props here. Just take Tampa Bay with a money line here. Now going into it. We've got San Francisco, Seattle. There we go. Division game, right? Division game, huge game for San Francisco. They want to come out of the gate swinging, especially against an NFC West opponent. Seattle just got Sam Darnold. They have Cooper Kupp. They have a lot of additions with Jackson Smith out there, with Zach Charbonnet, with Kenneth Walker. I really love the way Seattle stacked up in this game, especially at home. That 12th man is going to be a huge difference, right? I can see Zach Charbonnet on the touchdown. I see Christian McCaffrey on some receiving yards. Let's see where he's at. CMC, I don't see him being as much of a rusher this year than what he is as a pass catcher, especially coming out of that backfield. I've got Christian McCaffrey right here for 35.5 receiving yards. Now, the under on that one would be 20. Take him on the 20. Take him on the 20. Fill in your lineup with that. He usually gets 20 receiving yards. I can see him getting more receiving yards this year than any other year that he's played. And then Zach Charbonnet. Me personally, I tell all my Niners fans, I tell everyone out there, Zach Charbonnet is going to take that starting role. And Charbonnet is going to have a touchdown to start it off. I really feel like the Charbonnet touchdown is a big one this week. It's not something you throw the house on, but Charbonnet touchdown for me is a lock in this game. Niners, I don't see the Niners coming away with this one, especially Seattle being at home. I see Seattle winning this game. Very close game, very nail-biter. Jackson Smith has a very big game, right? Going into it, slipping into the Tennessee-Denver game, right? We've got Tennessee at Denver. Tennessee is going to have a tough task ahead of them. Rookie quarterback. Line isn't really that great to protect that rookie quarterback. Nick Bonino just got paid today. Just got paid. That is a future defensive player of the year. Denver is a future division winner. Denver is going to be great this season, right? A critical threat to Kansas City in that division-winning team for the last 9 years, right? So Denver's going to have a big game. I can see him covering the spread. Even though it's a 2-point, I can see Denver being the biggest point margin of the week. I can see just Denver just beating them by 13, 14, somewhere around there. Bo Nix is going to have a huge game. I've got Bo Nix fantasy points up here. Bo Nix at the fantasy points, he's sitting at 17.5. I have him pretty high up there. He's gonna touch this easily, right? So the Bo Nix fantasy points We're taking that. Cam Ward interception. I can see that being, if it's offered out there, because I mean, most sports books aren't going to offer it because of the fact that it's so 100% that this kid's going to throw an interception on his first game because of the fact that he's going against Patrick Surtain and probably one of the best secondaries out there, probably one of the best defenses out there with Denver. And I'll be very mindful. I'll be very football, and I'll be very respectful because of the fact that Denver's a really good team, right? Just looking at it from a football standpoint, they're very well coached. They have a very good defense, and you know what? I think they found their quarterback. So unless a sophomore slump happens with Bo Nix, I can see Denver very close to winning that division, right? Going into the 125 games, we got a couple more games left. Detroit and Green Bay. I really love this Detroit game. This Detroit Green Bay game, because I feel like it's gonna settle the NFC North in the first game. In the first game of the season, the NFC North will be decided, and I feel like it's gonna be decided because of the fact that it's gonna go to the Packers. It's gonna go to the Packers. All that momentum. They just got Micah Parsons. Maybe he doesn't play today. Maybe he does. But no matter what, they're gonna be ready. Green Bay is gonna be huge. It's gonna be a very big game at Lambeau, really loud. I mean, Kansas City went in there last year, and Jordan Love tore it up. Matt LaFleur is a prominent head coach in the NFC this year. Me personally, I have the Packers going pretty far in the playoffs this year. I have them winning the division, and it all starts right here, right? We're gonna go with Packers money line here. I've got Josh Jacobs touchdown. And then hold on, let's see. I've got Jake Bates on kicking points, right? I don't see Detroit scoring too much. I see Gibbs having a big game, right? Gibbs having a big game because they'll realize pretty soon that that's most of their offense, and what their offense has to go through is Jahmyr Gibbs. But overall, I don't see it being too much of a big hurt for Green Bay. I see Josh Jacobs scoring a touchdown, and just overall the Green Bay's defense taking care of business. All right? So we're taking Green Bay money line there. And then we got Houston, LA, right? The Rams made a huge deal at the end of the season, right? Made an impact really on defense. Their front line came out to be very formidable, especially in the playoffs, playing against a few teams that, you know, we would think that they would take the loss to, right? But they made it deep into the playoffs, and I expect the same thing this year. They have the best head coach in the NFC. I just don't think anyone's better than Sean McVay on the way you write it up. You've got Devontae Adams there now. You've got Puka. As long as Matthew Stafford stays healthy, this is the best team on paper in the NFC, right? Outside of the Eagles, who I really feel like did too much over the offseason to mess with their team. I feel like the Rams have their window. They could hit it this year. I can see Rams Chiefs Super Bowl. Me personally, I put a bet on that earlier this year. Just the fact that the Rams are doing so well on defense, I could see it happening. And then you've got a 53.7 win percentage for this game. I can see the Rams covering at 3.5. I want the Rams to cover. I want the Rams money line here. I've got Kyron Williams fantasy points. You also have a Kyron Williams touchdown here. I could see Kyron Williams doing it big this game against the Texans, especially with that rush defense being where they were last year. Looking at it, let's see, where's Texas? Yeah, the Texans, middle of the pack in the rush defense. Not too great, not too bad, but also not ready for a formidable back like Kyron Williams. So we're taking Kyron on the touchdown. We're taking the Rams with the money line, and then we're going to go into the night game on Sunday night. Sunday night football. Going into it, right? We've got one of the best games out there, Baltimore and Buffalo. This is an AFC championship matchup if the Chiefs weren't a team in the AFC, right? So they always play each other. It's always a consolidation round for them. But during the season, they play each other very well, right? And Baltimore, I feel like, is going to stomp out Buffalo. I feel like Baltimore is just there on defense. They are just there on offense, and I haven't seen Buffalo stop Derrick Henry yet. So expect a lot of spoon-fed Derrick Henry. Give him 100 yards, give him his flowers, give him a touchdown, and give Baltimore the win. On a really, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, of course, at Buffalo, but overall, I don't think Josh Allen is ready for what Baltimore is going to bring him on defense. And I can even see a Josh Allen turnover, whether it be a fumble for him running too much or it be an interception because he's careless with the ball, right? I don't see his receivers being as good as what Baltimore has on receiving. I see Zay Flowers having a breakout year this year. Rashad Bateman's there. You also got, like I said, Derrick Henry. I could see that offense really, really going next level with Lamar Jackson, and then they just don't stop the run. Buffalo just doesn't stop Derrick Henry. So who would I rather have? Would I rather have Derrick Henry running the ball downfield or James Cook running the ball downfield? Derrick Henry, right? So we're going to take Derrick Henry on that one. We're taking Baltimore. I can even see them covering the spread of 1.5. We're going to take that one. We're going to run with it. And then going into it, we've got Minnesota-Chicago. Minnesota-Chicago Monday Night Football, right? This is the big game right here. This is if Caleb Williams is ready, and I'll tell you right now that he's not. I'm not big on Caleb Williams. I'm big on him being a bust overall. I can see him busting out. I can see him throwing an interception in this game. Minnesota has a very good pass defense. I can see Caleb Williams having turnovers. The Bears just losing it all, right? I've got Minnesota and the spread -1.5. We're going to take Minnesota on this one. So that's the picks for this one. Let's go ahead and regroup here. We're going to go ahead. This board right here behind me has all the picks up there, money line, your spreads, everything we talked about today. It also has player props on there. It'll be available on Twitter. It'll be available on IG. It's going to be posted everywhere that I have. I have the links in my bio, so go ahead and follow there. I just wanted to get through basically my pick'ems for the day. So the pick'ems, we're going to go and recap them. We're going to go with the Eagles money line. We want the Eagles to win. We also like the Cowboys spread at +8.5. I really got the Chargers +3.5 on this game. I don't see Kansas City. If Kansas City wins this game, I don't see them winning by more than 4. That's more than likely not going to happen. I can see the Chargers covering more than Kansas City whooping on them, right? So either Kansas City money line or the Chargers +3.5. Bucks Falcons. I've got the Bucks. The Bucks as division winners. Bengals Browns. I've got the Bengals -5.5 on a 6-point total. I can see them covering the spread there. Dolphins Colts. I've got the Dolphins. I've got the Fins. Fins up, not covering the spread. Very close game. Not one that I would want to bet on, but the Fins will win. Patriots Raiders. I got the Patriots dominating. Hand the Patriots their flowers now. -2.5. They're going to cover that spread. So Patriots spread -2.5. And then we're going Cardinals Saints. I've got the Cardinals winning this game. Not by the spread, not -6.5, but I've got the Cardinals winning it overall. And then we've got Steelers Jets. I didn't pick a pick in this game, right? Well, let's see what I have on the board. I just realized that I did not take a pick in this game, and I want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Steelers on this one. The Jets, just the Jets defense on rush defense hasn't been addressed. I just think the Steelers are just a better overall team. They made the playoffs last year, right? So just overall, I feel like the Steelers will be there. They're gonna win this game. Giants Commanders. I've got the Commanders here. Maybe not covering the spread at 7, but overall winning the game. Dan Quinn, very good head coach. He's gonna whoop on some. He's gonna smoke that Giants pack tonight on Sunday night. And then Panthers Jags. I've got the Panthers. I've got the Panthers winning this game. Jacksonville is a 4-point favorite. Give me the Panthers all day, every day. Bryce Young did very good last year. The Jaguars do not defend the rush. Chuba Hubbard's going to have a huge game. Give me the Panthers to win this game, game 1. Titans Broncos. I've got the Broncos covering the spread. Broncos by the biggest point margin in NFL Week 1. I've got the Broncos just whooping on the Titans. Cam Ward interception. Also Calvin Ridley under on his receiving yards. And then we're going 49ers Seahawks. I've got the Seahawks winning this game at home. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zach Charbonnet with the touchdown. Just overall a very big game for the Seahawks. Lions Packers. Packers winning this game at home. Jordan Love very good quarterback. Josh Jacobs with the rushing touchdown, and just overall Matt LaFleur showing that he's a better coach than Dan Campbell, and showing that the Packers will win this division and just overall take it for the NFC North. Texans Rams, like we said, I really like the Rams here covering the spread at 3.5. I really like the Rams making a statement here with the best coach in the NFC. I don't see the Rams really having too much issue unless Stafford goes down, right? If Stafford goes down, this is a completely different story. But for the fact right now he's healthy, let's go ahead and take the Rams minus 3.5, right? Ravens Bills. I've got the Ravens minus on an alternate spread. We'll take the Ravens on an alternate spread of minus 1.5. I can see the Ravens winning this game. I just see the Ravens really blowing them out, honestly. I don't see Buffalo having an answer. They do have Bosa now, which is a little bit different than what they had last year, but just the way Derrick Henry ran all over them last year, I just don't see Buffalo being a very formidable opponent against, or very matched up well against Baltimore. And then Bears Vikings. I've got the Vikings. I've got the Vikings flat out. I really don't trust the Bears quarterback, and soon enough, Ben Johnson isn't going to trust him either. They're going to get rid of him. They're gonna move on from Caleb Williams, hopefully sooner than later. But overall, he's just not that pick. I'm not sure what the J.J. McCarthy's going to bring to the table, but honestly, going up against the Bears, he should be able to bring a win at least to the table on Monday night, right? So that's what we got here. I want to go over a couple player props that I have here, right, from top to bottom. These are my favorite picks. It's going to be Geno Smith with the interception. Geno's going to throw a pick. I've got Justin Fields with 29.5 rushing yards over on that one. Justin Fields is going to be out of the pocket. He's going to be chased around. J.J. Watt's going to be chasing him around, so expect Justin Fields with some rushing yards. Chuba Hubbard, 61.5 rushing yards. I'd take the over on that. I'd even take him for 80, honestly, against Jacksonville and the way they're going to play Jacksonville. At the end of the game, I feel like Carolina's going to be running out a lot of clock, and that's going to really start with Chuba Hubbard, right? 61.5 is that is the lock right there. The lock of the week right there. It's going to be Chuba Hubbard with that 61.5. And then Bo Nix, 17.5 fantasy points. I really love Bo Nix on the fantasy score. Jahmyr Gibbs as well with the fantasy score. Patrick Mahomes as well with the fantasy score. Jahmyr's at 16. I really feel like that offense is going to run by him. 18.5 for Patrick Mahomes. And then you've got rushing and receiving touchdowns for both Derrick Henry, Kyren Williams. Those two will get their touchdowns. I also like Zach Charbonnet. I didn't put it up there, but Charbonnet on the touchdown is really good as well. Ladd McConkey, honestly, his lines are very high at 5.5 receptions, but his targets, right? He's at 8 targets, right? So I see him going up on the targets. Kansas City secondary is a lot better, adding a few additions on secondary with Fuller out there. So I really see McConkey getting targeted, but not necessarily catching all of those catches, right? Devontae Smith, I really like Devontae Smith on receptions. That's a huge one right there. And then Cameron Dicker and Jake Bates. Cameron Dicker on 2 field goals. The Chargers are going to have to score some field goals. It's going to come down to a late one as well. And then you've got Jake Bates on kicking points, 6.5, right? I don't see the Lions scoring too much. I can see them scoring field goals, but like long ones as well, right? Not getting to the promised land, but overall getting the job done, right? And Jake Bates on the kicking points at 6.5 should be able to lock that up. A couple of 3 plays that I do not like, right? And I'm willing to go under on them is the George Pickens play for today. George Pickens at 55.5 receiving yards. I really don't see him covering that. He didn't cover it very much in Pittsburgh, and now that he's in Dallas with CeeDee Lamb as his number 1 and Jake Ferguson just getting paid, I really don't see that happening. And then you add in the Philadelphia secondary, George Pickens, unless I can see big plays, maybe 1, but not 55.5 receiving yards. Omarion Hampton, rookie running back, going up against one of the best rush defenses in the NFL last year with Kansas City. I can really see it not happening for him. His line is at 48.5 rushing yards. You've got him, and then you got Najee Harris. I can really see Najee Harris getting the 48.5. I really don't see Omarion Hampton going over anywhere near 40 yards rushing against Kansas City tonight, or tomorrow night. I'm sorry. Calvin Ridley, that'll be my last one that I really don't like. 53.5 receiving yards going up against Denver's secondary. He's going to be locked up by Surtain. I can see if Cam Ward does try to throw it that way, he's going to get picked. He's going to get picked. So that right there, the Cam Ward interception tied in with the Calvin Ridley under receiving yards, that could be a play, right? Because Denver's going to come out and they're going to knock some teeth out, right? And that's just how Denver is, and that's just how Denver's going to be, right? So those are my player props. We've also got the pick'ems out there. I've got this board right here. Everything we went over is on this board. It'll be posted on my X. It'll be posted on my IG. Go ahead and follow. The links are there. You guys take a look, take a pick, and have an amazing day.